Well, this has been a long time coming, hasn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Why did it take 50 reviews to do a second Jurassic Park movie? 'Cause
50 episodes.
Yep.
And this all started from a dumb conversation we had in a text chain.
Man, and I missed it.
Started with Jurassic Park, and now full circle back to Jurassic Park. So, just to clarify for a sec, the original Jurassic Park, and I think I said this in the first review, is essentially my favorite movie of all time. It's
You know what's really funny about when we did those first 3 episodes? You wanted us to do our favorite films.
Oh yeah, you did
I
say that.
technically didn't give us my favorite film.
Oh, so you just immediately broke the rule of law here.
Well, at that point, I hadn't truly figured out what my favorite movie was.
You're just like, I'll go with Pirates.
Yeah, pretty much.
Picked Pirates of the Caribbean. And then I at least picked fucking Van Helsing, so nobody actually listened to me.
Well, to be fair, Van Helsing was one of our more popular reviews on Spotify for a while. I don't know if it still is.
If we go on YouTube right now, the highest watched video is the South Park movie.
Oh, I thought when I last checked, it was the Disneyland Fun Watch, Drew.
No, it's South Park now.
So
Heck
random, I don't
yeah.
get it.
It's the most random thing in the world that it's South Park, but
Because South Park.
But yeah, and Lost World, Jurassic Park. Now, a little bit of background on this movie. I watched, and I don't know about you, Cody, but I know Anthony too, because he grew up with me. We would watch the original Jurassic Park a lot. So
yeah.
The thought of a sequel, pop! And at the time, I believe this broke some box office records. Because I think at the time it was the highest opening weekend for a movie ever. I think.
I just know it was shot in 3D, apparently.
Oh, shut the fuck up with that. Nobody's going to get that.
What?
God damn it. I'll explain to you after the recording, Cody.
Okay. Well, now it's just going to be a hanging topic.
Yeah, no. Basically, our uncle has that's an idiot that tried to convince our entire family that Lost World was filmed in 3D.
Is it because of the lenticular on the VHS?
That's what I think it is, which I'm currently staring at right now.
There was a lenticular on one of the posters. And
I don't remember that.
Well,
what did this come out? 97?
97.
There's
I was like 5, Cody. You were like 6.
Yeah, I would have been 6. So I don't remember when it
I must have been 4.
I remember
I
remember having seen it in theaters, but I don't remember the experience.
I did not see it in theaters.
Wait, why did you see this in theaters?
At 6, was allowed, I think.
I don't know, that opening scene is questionable.
I mean, it's still PG-13, so if you have
I'm just saying, that opening scene made me just go, turn that movie off and just put the first one back on. I said, no.
As far as I recall, the original Jurassic Park book, and Cody, you know more about the book than I do, was supposed to be a one-off.
Yes, it was. Actually,
Steven Spielberg convinced Michael Crichton to write a sequel.
That's exactly what happened. This is the only sequel that Crichton ever wrote because of the success of the first movie. But he typically did not write sequels.
Didn't he write Congo after Jurassic Park?
I don't remember which came first, but yes, he did write Congo.
Oh, God.
Which is funny because apparently, and again, Cody, you could attest to me, this is not even close to the book.
No. I mean, the first movie was also very different from the book, but this is it's
so what was the point
off.
of Spielberg telling him to write a sequel if you're not
going to
adapt the sequel?
It's the most mind-blowing thing because he literally wrote the book to be adapted into a movie, and then they just didn't follow the book.
They just said, nah, bro.
There's characters that got merged, there's characters that got dropped, there's characters that got added, and I'm just like, why did you write the book if you weren't going to use it?
Now, elephant in the room, Alan Grant is no longer the main character. He's not even mentioned. Now it's focusing on Ian Malcolm, which probably has a lot to do with how well received he was in the first movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah, but he honestly feels like an entirely different character in this one.
100% a different character.
He doesn't have the charisma he had in the first movie. He doesn't have.
He's bored. He's just bored.
Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be that he was broken after the first movie. I think that's what they were going for, but yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't make him feel like the same character at all.
It feels
I feel like Alan had a more traumatic experience in that part. All Goldblum had was he got flung around by a T-Rex.
Yet when Grant comes back in the third movie, he feels like the same character. Interesting.
Exactly.
We'll get to the third movie eventually, but yeah, he's gone. Sadler is gone.
The fun is basically gone.
Yeah, no, it's funny, and I was just talking about it. Every single time I watch this movie, I feel differently about it, but I think we all just had the same experience with this movie, which is
not the prequels video.
That was boring. It was just, I think we were all just kind of bored.
Dragged on and on.
This movie could not keep my fucking attention. I
was scrolling through TikTok while watching this.
But
I actually did pay attention to it, but no, it was it was a slog to get through.
I basically watched most of the live action Lilo and Stitch on TikTok while watching Lost World.
That's a review for another day.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. So
you did?
You poor bastard.
Regardless, so Ian Malcolm has to go. The essence of this movie is John Hammond recruits Ian Malcolm to go to another island, which is Site B, which is where they were making all the dinosaurs and moving them over to the first island.
I'm sorry, why would he want Malcolm to go? Why would you not try to get Grant again? Like, what does Malcolm have that makes him qualified for this mission? He was a mathematician.
Chaos theory. Because life finds a way. And Ian Malcolm
it's not smart, it's dumb.
I don't understand why, honest to God, they made Ian Malcolm the main character and not Alan Grant. I, to this day, don't get that. I
cannot remember if the book explains it. It's even more perplexing because technically in the first book he dies.
Malcolm dies in the first book?
Yes,
he's retconned to survive.
It was retcon, yes. But if you just read the first book, it ends with Malcolm dead.
Well, I know Hammond dies in the book.
Well, Hammond's the main antagonist in the book.
Yes, different.
He is a completely different character. He's not this sort of fun old man. He's an angry vet. Like he's not the same character in the books at all. In books, sorry, not books.
Yeah, he's not.
Does he spare no expense?
Of
Now,
course.
The beginning of the movie has they don't really this little girl gets attacked by these little dinosaurs, and the movie says she's alive. Yes, but the reaction of the parents implies that she was killed. So
and that turned me off of this movie. Like as soon as that scene played, I turned this movie off and went back to the first one. I never fully watched this movie till I was an adult.
I know the girl is alive. But by the way, that scene is from the first book, not the second.
No kidding.
Yes, it is. And in the book, she survives. In the movie, Hammond very briefly mentions that she survives, but in the book, she gets a terrible infection. It does not get talked about in any of the movies, but the compies have venomous bites.
Okay.
I don't know why the mom screamed like that if she was okay.
That's why I said I don't know if she's alive or
dead. She just kind of like
dead.
Maybe she just discovered, oh no, dinosaurs! I have a mass phobia for them.
Maybe, but honestly, it's just always funny. That hard cut from the scream to Malcolm yawning.
It's one of my favorite opening shots of any movie because of ridiculous.
And basically him yawning is basically describes his entire performance in this movie. He's just bored.
Oh, that is unfortunately true.
Why? And Anthony brought this up a minute ago. Why don't you think to ask any of the old cast to come back? Like, why don't you get Alan Grant? Why don't you get Sadler?
Or get, like, a tracker or a hunter or someone that has, like, skills in wildlife.
No, you got Vince Vaughn.
You got Vince Vaughn, who, by the way, does not scream tough guy or assassin, whatever the heck he was in this.
No,
he wasn't an assassin.
I don't know what he was. He's like, there's some things, and that's why Hammond brought me. I'm like, are you, what are you?
An animal activist.
That clearly has a body count.
He was there to free the animals. That's why he was there.
Yeah, no, but actually, he's one of the characters. Nick is not a character in the book.
Really?
It's even more confusing because the way Vince Vaughn plays Nick in the movie feels like Eddie Carr in the book.
You know what part made me laugh?
Is this the Lost World book or Jurassic Park the book?
The Lost World.
Okay.
Which is funny too, because if I remember correctly, Cody, the book doesn't have the subtitle Jurassic Park, right? It's just called The Lost World.
I think you might be right about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's right.
when they get to the island and Ian Malcolm finds the bag, the way he says Sarah.
Sarah!
It's like heavy rain. Jason!
Jason!
That's immediately what I think of.
I'd rather be playing Heavy Rain than watching this movie.
It's a good game.
Now, the thing about this movie, too, is I feel like it's a lot more violent than the first one. There's a lot more murder in this one.
It's unnecessarily more violent.
Because I think there was, the death of 4 people in the first movie? I know Ian Malcolm says 3, but it was at least 4.
In the first film, okay, you had Samuel Jackson. All right, let's just think who Jeff Goldblum knew about. Muldoon, Samuel Jackson, the lawyer.
He would have seen those 3, and then Dennis
yeah, he would have known about this, and probably the guy who got Aiden at the beginning, because they probably mentioned that, I'm sure.
Then there's Dennis Nedry. So
no one knew about Nedry, so
that's actually, I think that's true,
and that's actually canon.
So, four or 3 people.
Both the movies are actually quite tame compared to the books. You should read Nedry's death.
I've heard it's a lot more gruesome in the book.
I really want to read this book.
These are not PG-13 books.
But there's the point where like the guy has a snake crawl down his shirt, and
oh my god, it's so dumb because he's the animal guy, and they had him be terrified of a snake.
Yeah, what was up with that?
The thing is, too, there's a T-Rex right in front of you. Get your priorities straight, bro.
Nah, man, that's so snake. Dumb.
And they never mentioned the whole.
Which, T-Rex. By the way, was that snake even? Does anyone here know about snakes? Like, was that a poisonous snake?
Well, it's the one they use on screen to be a poisonous snake. Like, oh, look, it looks like a coral snake, but it's actually a king snake, which is completely harmless. But you're supposed to be like, no, that's the poisonous one.
But again, there's a fucking T-Rex right in front
exactly. So, and you're not guaranteed to be bitten by this snake. You are guaranteed to be bitten by the T-Rex.
Now, it would have been better as if the snake, the guy would have just ran out where he was hiding and the T-Rex just ate him.
That's basically what happened.
It pretty much is.
No, like complete cartoonish, like oh yeah, waving your hands.
That would have been really stupid.
Pacing.
It would have been better than what we got.
The pacing issues with this movie aside, there's this thing that kept happening, and it made it feel like the movie was improv, but I have no idea. There's just a lot of rambling and talking over each other, where it's like I don't really know what anybody's saying, and it doesn't matter what they're saying.
It
makes it feel like kind of realistic, but it's annoying. It happens Cody, the whole movie.
If this movie was improv, then there probably would have been a lot more joy in this.
Now, to be fair, to give the movie credit to your point, Anthony, this is not necessarily a happy-go-lucky scenario.
The first one isn't either.
Well, the first movie also had the wonder of, oh, look, dinosaurs, but now we've dealt with that and people died, so...
Yeah, but I think the first one kind of had balanced the darker aspects and the wonder of, look at these dinosaurs, look at these effects, a lot better. This is just
speaking of
one side of that coin.
Speaking of
to
effects,
11.
I got to give the movie credit here, just like the first movie. The effects actually still hold up, even for 1997.
I did not think so.
Well, here's the thing. It's actually, it's still very impressive for the time, and yet they're on par with the first movie. The problem is they're not so strategic like they were in the first movie. So, like, there's a lot of in the daylight scenes.
Yeah, there's too much daylight scenes.
Oh, the animatronics, though, for the dinosaurs are still really
good. Animatronics are still good.
But there's actually the one shot that got me though in this entire movie is the final shot, which is pretty much fully CG, is nearly flawless.
That one looks really good. Now,
nearly flawless.
I mean, again, it's 1997, so it's been this movie's almost 30 years old. But
it's not going to be finally celebrated like the first one. I can tell you that.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Velociraptors too, I thought were a lot less scary in this one.
Well,
they were just kind of there.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Speaking of that gymnastics scene where the daughter...
We'll get to that.
That was fucking.
Oh my goodness!
I gotta say too, I did think the baby T-Rex was kind of adorable.
I think you're supposed to.
I actually felt bad for that little guy, and I really wish that Hunter had got his comeuppance, but he didn't.
Oh yeah. No, there's a thing about that. He did not break the baby's leg.
Oh, he did not.
No, it's a massive change. I don't think it's intentional, but yeah, the way the movie presents it, it looks like Roland's like, oh, we need to lure the parents out, and then hard cut to the baby has a broken leg. So the way it's shown, it's like, oh yeah, he broke his leg. There's cut scenes, cut from the book, they filmed it for the movie, and then they just didn't include it.
Oh, they actually filmed it?
What's his face? The nephew.
The actual main antagonist.
Ludlow. Yeah, Ludlow. There's, I guess, two versions of it, but one is he gets drunk and accidentally trips on the baby and breaks its leg. Either way, Roland does not break the baby's leg, but because that scene was cut, it makes it look like he did.
Oh, wow.
So it makes it look like Roland's this monster that he just is not. In fact, he gets mad at Ludlow for accidentally breaking the baby's leg.
Well, yeah, because after a point, he's like, I'm tired of death, and he just leaves.
Yeah, no,
Roland's
not that bad of a dude.
Honestly, he's just in it for the paycheck.
No, he wasn't even in for the paycheck. He just wanted to hunt the T-Rex.
He said keep his paycheck. He didn't want the money at all.
He just wanted to hunt a T-Rex.
Priorities.
There's a lot of changes. Like, all right, so Kelly is actually two characters merged into one, neither of which were Malcolm's children.
He didn't have a daughter in the book, from what I heard, but I could be wrong.
There is a Kelly, and then there's another kid named Arby, and they just mixed him into one character and made it Malcolm's kid. I don't know why they did that.
Weird.
Kelly adds nothing at all to this movie. Did I mention she's a gymnast?
They kicked you off the gymnastics team?
The horror.
Dude, the one guy, Eddie, he didn't deserve to get murked like that.
No, God, it's a hero. Such a brutal way to go for being a hero. And
he was just trying to save his friends.
He would have felt all of that the way they got him, which sucks. I mean,
for Eddie. He has the best death in the film.
Didn't they tear his leg off?
They ripped him in half. They didn't bite him in half. They ripped him in half.
They eviscerated him.
Yeah, the T-Rex is a lot more deadly in this one.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And they're not all they're not all female in this movie.
No.
Well, they all probably had just changed their genders at this point.
Well, because it's again the first movie, they're like we created them all to be female, but evidently not.
Because this island was basically abandoned, so basically the dinosaurs could just say whatever and just swap genders like that
because they have frog DNA.
Because of the frog DNA.
It's always the frog DNA.
Another big change is that that Ludlow character was supposed to be Dodgson.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, the main villain of the book was Dodgson.
I mean, that makes sense.
But he's just never seen again in the movies till I think one in Jurassic Worlds, but I'm not.
Well, because no one cares.
Until Dominion.
Oh, shut up, Dennis Nedry.
Yeah, he doesn't come back until Dominion, and he's a completely, not just a different actor, but a totally.
Well, that's because the original actor had some legal troubles. Let's just say that.
Yep.
They weren't bringing him back.
The trailer sequence is still pretty good.
Okay,
it's not the original T-Rex scene.
I can't.
No, not even close.
I can't so hard to be that.
I can't ignore this any longer. Why the fuck is a T-Rex in San Diego?
Because they wanted
to make a Godzilla movie.
For a movie called
King Kong.
World. For a movie called The Lost World, why is the ending, the climax, in San Diego?
That structure is King Kong.
But this isn't King Kong.
I'm just saying, it did the same thing. They were just trying to add a Hollywood moment, because that's not in the book.
No, it's also stupid.
That's not in the book?
No, I knew that, actually. It's not in the book.
Dang.
And then he eats a dog, and I'm like, why'd you eat the dog?
Yeah, why'd you gotta eat the dog?
Oh, yeah, the dog did get eaten.
You don't see him get eaten. You just kind of see him drop. You just see him drop the doghouse, but
poor dog.
And the kid's
poor
like,
doggy.
"There's a dinosaur in our backyard."
There's a dinosaur in our backyard.
He's so calm about it. And this dinosaur's just causing havoc, and then he just wants his baby. That's all he wants. I think they said it's the male one.
The one in San Diego, yes, it was the male.
So I guess he's the movie's final antagonist, I guess. But
no, still Ludlow.
No, it's an animal running free.
Oh, and that's the other problem with them cutting the scene where Ludlow breaks the baby's leg, is it was supposed to get called back when the male T-Rex breaks Ludlow's leg and then the baby eats Ludlow. Like, it was supposed to be in the movie for a reason.
But no, and on this movie, the baby just eats him because his dad's like, go for it. Just
Wow, you're right, Cody. Like, the book literally was written just to be adapted, and they just didn't do it.
It doesn't make any sense. So many strange decisions. I don't get it.
Now, I don't know if I can get away with calling this one of the worst movie sequels of all time, because it's not like objectively terrible or anything. It's just boring.
I mean, it's no Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
I'll watch this over Mortal Kombat Annihilation any fucking day. But
at least, no, I'm not going to say that, because at least I can get a laugh out of Annihilation.
Oh, you stop that. This is objectively a much better film than Mortal Kombat.
No, objectively, this is a much better, well put together film. It's just, it's boring, and I think that's a bigger sin than being laughably bad.
You know what I just thought about?
Annihilation is hilarious. At least you got some good lines like, "And you will die."
That's exactly the line I was thinking of.
Anything Shao Kahn says is gold.
We have not talked about Ian Malcolm's girlfriend yet, whose name I cannot remember.
What's there to talk about? She's an idiot.
We had a whole conversation about her name earlier.
Completely.
That's it. That's her only thing. That's the only thing worth mentioning. The girl's an idiot.
And I know, Cody, you wanted to mention her earlier. What the gymnastics thing with the Velociraptor? What the fuck was that?
It's always been dumb. There's never a time that wasn't dumb, and they just mention that she's a gymnast, so it makes sense when she does that. But everything about the scene doesn't make sense. She starts swinging before the raptor is even in a position for her to do anything.
Wouldn't the raptor be faster than her, and it could just like munch and get her?
Almost definitely. But either way, the scene it doesn't matter which way you spin it.
Aren't these raptors like super smart? So he could just like, okay, she's going that way, she's going, all right, here's where I.
No, they needed the Raptors to lose, so they just
aside from that stupid moment though, the Raptor sequence isn't bad. There's a cool overhead shot where the Raptors are closing in the grass, and
that's the only cool part. But the rest of it's just kind of boring.
But I mean, at least you got that cool shot overhead. This guy should direct a shark movie or something.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he'd probably be good at it.
And it's crazy because he also directed the first movie. So what happened between the two? Was it a screenwriting issue? Was it? I don't.
Honestly, this is just my personal theory. He said he had this. This is going back to when he made the first film, because he was editing the first film while making Schindler's List, and said, "I'd have to do Jurassic Park before I make Schindler's List because I could never make that movie after Schindler's List." And I think that's what happened with Lost World.
Well, I think
maybe they should have held off,
because he was the one pushing Michael Crichton to make a sequel, so he wanted to make it.
Yeah, I think maybe Spielberg was just still in that dark mindset after Schindler's List, because wasn't Lost World after Schindler's List?
I think so. So he didn't jump from Jurassic Park to Lost World. So
not like he did with Jurassic Park to Schindler's List.
No, there was a decent time gap between the two, but this was still a box office success. I mean, it made a decent amount of money.
It was always gonna.
Yeah, following up a movie like Jurassic Park, it's hard.
Yeah, there was no question this was not going to make money, but it was probably dropped after people saw it.
It wasn't even close to what the first movie did in numbers.
Exactly, they saw it and weren't happy with it. So after like that first week or so, no one saw this.
I think Jurassic Park 1 at the time was the highest grossing movie of all time. I think.
That sounds correct.
I think so.
I know, like, early 1998, Titanic beat it, but at the time it was released.
It held that one for a while, too, Titanic.
Until Avatar, and then it lost at the end game, then Avatar took it back for some reason.
How did it take it back?
It got re-released.
Re-release.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, back on the San Diego scene, that ship crash looks pretty good, but the slaughter on the ship will never make sense.
It makes no sense. They're just dead. And how did the T-Rex get there and did not destroy everything else?
It's real. Supposed to be in play. Yeah, like the T-Rex got out, somehow killed everyone, then got resealed in the cargo bay.
It's like Spielberg wanted to do the scene from Dracula where Dracula kills all the crew on the ship before getting to London.
You could
Except
have initially
T-Rex.
argued that it was. You could have initially
Except
argued
with a T-Rex.
You could have initially argued it might have been the baby, but no, it couldn't have been the baby because the baby had like a. He was wrapped up in There was a maul on his. So,
Also, the baby had not yet learned to kill.
Also, what are these idiots thinking by bringing a T-Rex into a city? Who would want a T-Rex in your city?
It was going to be contained in the new Jurassic Park.
Do you know how much money it would take to feed that thing?
Lots.
They're gonna
Speaking from a business standpoint, not a great plan. You're gonna bankrupt yourself before you get a park.
Well, John Hammond knew that, but John Hammond also had the money, and he tried. This guy just didn't at all.
No,
that's why Hammond had a remote island.
Yeah, because John Hammond was much smarter than Ludlow. Much smarter.
I mean, because as we learned in Jurassic World, it was working for a bit.
Yeah, no. To be fair to Hammond, if not for Nedry, the park would have actually probably worked.
Yeah,
it would have worked because we saw it in Jurassic World.
I need to rewatch that. I've only seen it once.
And you still haven't seen Fallen Kingdom or Dominion.
Correct.
Fallen Kingdom sucked.
I've heard it's not great.
I didn't see Dominion.
But back to Lost World.
Oh yeah,
Can we talk about anything but this? This movie's so boring.
You mentioned this line earlier, Frankie. It was when Ludlow invites Roland to work at the park in San Diego, and he just goes, "No, thank you. I believe I've spent enough time in the company of death." And just like, in other words, this ain't gonna go well, bruh.
He knows.
And then you never see him again. He's just gone. And after they leave the island, am I crazy or did Kelly just disappear?
She was on the couch.
Yeah.
Oh my! Yeah, she did disappear. She's really not in the climax.
She's gone.
No, quite literally, the only thing she does in the movie is kick a raptor, and
that's her only purpose in this film.
I don't think Ian Malcolm himself doesn't even do much except get mad at technology and mad at the situation.
No, he's just trying to get everybody. He's just trying to get everybody to leave the entire time,
and nobody's listening.
Literally, all they're doing is running.
Yeah, because Ian Malcolm was the one in the first movie who was like, "This is gonna fail." So,
yep.
Maybe you should listen to this guy because he knows what he's talking about.
And actually, I think you both said it earlier.
Does he though?
You said Sarah was really stupid. I'd like to clarify, she's not stupid in the book.
Oh, she's not?
Nope.
Good.
I mean, because
now I gotta read the Lost World because the Lost World's actually the book sounds way better.
And they're also not a couple. I don't know why they keep doing that. They did the same thing with the first book with Grant and
Grant and Sadler worked by turning them into a couple.
No, I know, but it's just point is the movies keep doing this thing where it's like, here's these
because
characters
because we can't have a man and a woman have a platonic friendship. It just can't be done.
But you could also say it worked in the first movie because the first movie is a much better written movie.
Yes.
I can't confirm for the book. I think Cody told me years ago he thinks the Lost World book is better than the original book. I think I remember Cody telling me that.
I have said that. I haven't read them in a while though, so who knows? Opinion might have changed, but
well, yeah, I'm gonna have to get both those books and read them.
Either way, they're both good books.
I think it's unanimously accepted that the first movie is better than the second movie.
This might be the worst one of the Jurassic Park film series, in my opinion.
I'd have to rewatch 3.
That's tough. Fallen Kingdom's got a lot wrong with it too.
Yeah, but God, I don't think I was that bored with Fallen Kingdom at least.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch it. It's been a while, but it's hard to say now. After this viewing of Lost World, I'm unsure.
Yes, this was hard for me. I did like though when that one like douchebag guy who kept zapping the little dinosaurs got his got murked. Isn't that how John Hammond died in the movie? In the book,
yes, he did die that way at the end of the first book. Although Hammond didn't zap them, so like it was just he gets.
I forgot how did the zappy guy die?
He was eaten by these little the same little
dinosaurs.
Oh,
the little. Oh, that was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Hammond got it.
Yep.
That's hilarious.
Minus the zapping.
Yeah, that guy was annoying, and he deserved it.
I
found it funny.
They're all annoying.
When he was telling the one guy, "Hey, I'll be back at 10 minutes." The guy's listening to music. I don't care.
All these characters are annoying. They're
it's
basically just walking meat for these dinosaurs.
It's actually a very unlikable cast.
They're walking around meat. They're just meat for the dinosaurs.
It's insane to me.
No,
because Ian Malcolm-
actually,
it's-
that guy, the guy who got eaten by the compies, I think his name's Dieter. Yeah, he is just in the movie for that scene and nothing else.
he doesn't do anything else.
We're like, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about Gennaro in the first one. He's there to be eaten by the T-Rex, but he's also a kind of funny
Well, he
lawyer
also
character up
he
until
gets
then.
eaten-
These characters are basically the menu at a fast food restaurant.
Well, he also gets eaten off the shitter, which is just the funniest thing to me.
He left us.
That's not what I'm going to do. Which is crazy to me that Alan Grant hated kids, but he was like, "No, I'm going to protect you guys." The fuck.
Because Alan Grant's actually a good person.
No, since I keep mentioning the book, Alan did not hate kids in the book. There's so many changes from the books; it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's weird to me because we mentioned this earlier.
But it worked. It worked.
It's basically a different character, where he was like so likable and charismatic in the first movie.
Again, Goldblum was just bored out of his mind. I think he only said yes to paid.
Probably. Or it was in his contract. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually
Maybe.
curious if they approached him about a sequel before even writing it.
Ooh,
Because again, the whole reason they made
that's
Ian
not
Malcolm the main
unheard of.
character- The only reason Ian Malcolm's the main character is because how well received Jeff Goldblum was.
That's the same issue what happened with Johnny Depp in the last two Pirates films.
Yeah, because he's not the main character of the first Pirates movie. He's just
No,
not.
I'd argue he's not the main character of the first three Pirates.
And that's what I just said that to Frankie recently. I was mostly referring to the first movie, but yeah, it's really
It's really
Will and Elizabeth.
He's a central character, but he's not the main focus. In the fourth and fifth one, he's the main. And
Yeah,
no,
he's a better
you
side,
are
he's a better
support
side
character. You're a support character.
Much
No,
better
you-
as a side character.
You can't have your white mage as your main. You just can't do it.
Let's make a movie about Gandalf next.
No,
Oh
no.
You know they
There's-
would.
I don't know. There's not much more we could say about this fucking movie.
No, I've actually been struggling. I'm out of stuff.
It's fucking boring.
I have nothing. Yeah, like it's boring.
It's boring. It's nothing compared to the first movie. If you're gonna watch Jurassic Park movie, just watch the fucking first movie.
Yeah,
The first movie is phenomenal, but I've been saying this for years. I really, really wish the books would get actual adaptations, which would be rated R. And
that would be interesting to do.
I don't think they'll ever do it.
They're
no, I
never
don't think
going to
so.
do it.
No, they're just going to keep making sequels. But
Yeah, Universal's like, no, we got to milk this train.
I would love to see the books actually get adapted into because they're
It would be
very
a neat
different experiences.
experiment. Like, I really got to read these books now.
Maybe you could do
They're
it like animated or something on like Amazon Prime or something.
That'd be cool.
Maybe one day. Maybe if the series ever stops making money, which it doesn't seem to be. So,
Well, Cody,
speaking of which,
What?
Rebirth is coming out soon.
Ugh.
what are we talking about next week, my friend?
Hey, guess what?
What?
I forgot to think about it again.
Of course.
What a fucking shock!
What if I gave you guys a film?
You
Oh
shut
God!
up. No, I don't trust your bullshit. Cody, go ahead.
Thinking.
It would have been a good film.
I don't trust you.
Okay, I will entertain what he suggests, but I'm not going to guarantee that I'll say yes to it.
I was gonna say the Mask of Zorro.
I don't want to watch that.
No, I don't really. It's not a bad movie, or it wasn't. But yeah, I don't really feel like watching that.
No, that's you don't have to. That was just gonna be my set. I love that film.
Oh, you know what? Actually, let's do that. Let's do Baby Driver. That's different.
Oh, there you go.
Baby Driver?
Yep.
There you go. It's a good movie.
I have never seen it.
All the more reason to watch it.
That's not what I was expecting. Oh, I know what I'm picking for you next time. This is gonna be fun.
That's not
Oh, dear.
ominous.
Not at all.
It's gonna be an experience. But all right, next week I suppose is Baby Driver.
Well,
I was
before
not
we close
ready.
out, Frankie, do you want to say anything? Because this is the 50th episode.
Don't watch The Lost World.
Well, I'll say I just want to thank everyone for indulging in this ridiculous show. Thank you for staying with us through the amount of changes to the format. And also, I do have a message from Annalise.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up.
Oh, he's got to read it.
Well,
She just says, "Thank you for the support, and hopefully you guys continue to grow from here."
That is so sweet.
She is definitely her mother's daughter.
Zeus. Yeah, thank you guys for listening on Spotify, now on YouTube. I think almost all the episodes are on YouTube now. We're getting close.
Almost, yeah. It's
Very, very close.
it's going to become close, like how you're going to do daily uploads now.
We're not.
No.
It's
Although
gonna be
it is funny.
weekly.
It is funny that the channel has had an episode go up every single day since it started. So,
But yeah, it's going to be a wild ride for the next. Hey, in 50 episodes from now, we'll do Jurassic Park 3, maybe.
God.
That's a better sequel than this.
I'll have to rewatch it. I don't remember at all.
At least, I mean, honestly, I could say after watching Lost World now, 3 is at least more eventful. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll see when we get there. Next time is Baby Driver, apparently. All right.
And I will see you guys whenever I decide to come back.
Oh, good. All right, now we're just padding. So
Yeah.
take care, everyone. Have a good night.